Welcome back to OTR. We've hit the roundtable portion of this morning's program. Democrat Marianne Marks is with us and Republican Patrick Griffin is with us. By the way, we do have a roundtable. So I just want to make sure that you understand we have a roundtable. We've been talking about questions 2 and 3. Marianne, quickly, what's your read right now? Here we are a little over 2 weeks.
I think no on 2 passes
no on
because
2.
They've so outspent the opposition, and especially with a factually incorrect ad in the beginning.
So no expansion of the ballot.
Correct.
So no expansion.
Correct. In Massachusetts, we'll have casinos.
We'll still hold the casinos. Patrick, what's your read on it?
Let's make it quick. We agree.
Oh, my goodness. Let's move on to the next question then.
Can we mark that moment on the tape, please?
Let's move on. President Clinton was in Worcester this past week to pump up the Coakley campaign. He brought money, but will he bring out the disenchanted independent voters who Democrats really need to vote in this election? Let's start with you, Pat.
Well, Democrats need Democrats, too. Let's remember, Democrats are a little down on the intensity scale right now. The problem with the president, he's got to make everyone sort of with the watch forget that there were the last 6 years under President Obama. It's a heavy lift for the Clintons. They come out, they push this thing. They don't want to get too close to President Obama, but if they diss them, the president and people on the progressive left, they will come back to haunt Hillary Clinton.
I have a feeling, Marianne, you disagree with him.
No, first and foremost, Bill Clinton brought in money, and Martha Coakley needs money.
Desperately.
1, 2. He brings out Democrats, and not only Democrats, he brings out unenrolled voters who will vote Democratic. There's nobody better on the stump, in robocalls or anywhere else, bringing out Democrats in GOTV than Bill Clinton. That is a fact. And the fact is, Republicans don't have the surrogates to bring in. They have to hide in like hotel rooms with curtains with Mitt Romney and everybody else because they don't have surrogates.
Wait a minute. Oh, Barack Obama's in the Witness Protection Program.
Raising money.
And she says Republicans are afraid to come out and campaign.
I'm sorry. It's
Come
like,
on.
where's Waldo? Where's Mitt Romney? Who else are you going to bring in? Rand
Where's
Paul?
the president?
Come on, you're going to bring
Where's
in
the
Ted
president?
Cruz.
All right,
Tell us.
it may be getting nasty here at the roundtable, but
No,
it's getting pretty nasty in the gubernatorial fight. Martha Coakley is accusing Charlie Baker of outsourcing jobs at Harvard Pilgrim. Baker is accusing Coakley of using her office as AG to help her campaign finance co-chair's business. Marianne, bottom line, they're questioning each other's ethics and priorities. Does any of it resonate with the voters?
Not at this point. I mean, there have been some great packages done by Wu and others on the story, but at this point, this is what voters expect. We're in the stage of the campaign where you go negative on each other, and they are. And the question is, who do voters believe more at this point, and whose charge will they believe? And we won't know that for about another 16 days.
Is this when the voters begin to focus in on the race?
No, the voters have already focused on this race. And I think that while it's not over yet by a long shot, and I wouldn't call it, this is kind of baked in. I think that Coakley and Baker are looked at as either incumbent, and Martha Coakley, fair or not, is viewed as the incumbent. Charlie Baker, hardly a new face, is not. Incumbents are in trouble. Democrat incumbents are even worse trouble. So I think that, frankly, Charlie Baker is going to pull this thing off, and I think Martha Coakley's team knows it.
Momentum is with Coakley right now. Everyone believes that the ship has been righted. Momentum is starting to go her way. You're seeing a lot of people coming in. You see more money come in. Very close race, very tough race, but things are starting to break Martha
Do you know how
Coakley's
much money
way.
Charlie Baker has raised in the last 2 weeks? He set a record. Martha Coakley can't raise money because she can't get support. The bottom line, wait a minute now, the bottom line on this is that boat may have been righted. I really don't agree with that. But there's a big gaping hole in the hull, and it's sinking fast.
And here's what you guys still don't do. In any race, including this one, 3 to 5 points wins you this race. And that's exactly what they can do on the ground on Election Day, and
You're
can't.
wrong this time. Our ground game in Massachusetts this time is better than the Democratic ground game.
That's not,
It
oh
is
my
better
God.
than the Democratic ground
Totally
game.
wrong.
Marion, we'll see on election night,
Yes,
but I would
we
tell
will.
you, this is the first time as a Republican I can truly say that the folks organizing the ground in Massachusetts have done a terrific
But
job.
he said that about Brown against Warren.
Let's move to the air game up in New Hampshire. Karl Rove's PAC is spending $3 million this week alone to run a very clever spelling bee ad. It sort of pokes fun at Jeanne Shaheen's ties to President Obama. With 2 weeks out, will this hurt her significantly, Marianne?
New Hampshire voters are too savvy to fall for a retread ad that's been running in Arkansas, okay? The ad that will blow up is the ad about James Foley's assassination that's being run by an outside PAC. That's going to hurt Scott Brown. It took him the better part of a day to disown that ad, but he needs to give back the $10,000 from Ambassador John Bolton, who's part of this group, before he can absolve himself of this. Shame on him.
Patrick, you're shaking your head.
Well, first of all, what are you talking about? The money has been given back to Ambassador John Bolton. I agree. You're saying that Scott Brown...
As of today?
Scott Brown has sent the money back to John Bolton. That's a fact. Look it up. Second thing is, I find it incredible that a third-party ad, which is offensive, you and I agree on that, Marianne, you know that's not run by Scott Brown, and you're right, voters in New Hampshire are savvy. they've already figured this race
What
out
about
too.
the spelling bee ad? Do you think that's going
It's
to work?
a GREAT ad,
But
and I think
does it bring votes, though?
Yes,
Does it
I
bring
do. I
votes?
think it cuts through all the clutter and all this political
FAIL.
porn that's going on right now. They're just turning voters off.
Wait a minute, you didn't tell me there was going to be spelling this morning.
There's always spelling, and it's going to fail.
Okay, moving on to Ebola. Dominated the news cycles this past week, while Governor Patrick and Mayor Walsh don't want to appear like they're being indifferent. There is sort of a simmering annoyance with us, with the press, saying that we're making too much out of every incident here in Massachusetts. Do they have a case, Marianne?
They do, and unfortunately, the media is culpable here. The fact is, it used to be back in the day that the media and journalism was about presenting the facts. Now it's gone into marketing, and it's all about getting viewers and clicks. And that's a shame, because now we lurch from crisis du jour to crisis du jour, which happens every couple hours now, and that's the problem.
The two most devastating words in the most recent history of television news is breaking news. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, it's a little
Oxymoron.
overused.
Yeah.
But look, anytime something gets a graphic and its own music stinger,
Right.
you know that it is marketable. Look, this is a really scary thing. And at the end of the day, I think this adds to an environment of folks saying, what are people doing? I think the president's doing the best he can. I just don't think he can do much better.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.